Mayo experience.
That Mayo experience. That Mayo experience. That Mayo experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. Monday Night Football, prop draft, picks, plus some future bets and general football talk. Thanks for joining us live. If you're here every single Monday at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time, except next Monday, because Ryan Noonan, Conner Allen from 4for4.com, I am not going to be in this country. Well, I will eventually be in the country that I'm in now. In fact, I'm going to be where you guys live for like 98 minutes or something like that.
What are you?
Little layover in O'Hare?
Yeah. Well, they're apparently, I'm going to be in Kansas City for the weekend for the Underdog Dog Bowl. So it's like the culmination of all of the contests that everyone was able to qualify for. Obviously, I didn't qualify, but they're like, hey, Pat, Underdog, we sponsor your show. Why don't you fly down to like meet some people? That can be your contribution since you didn't end up winning anything. So I'm doing that. But as I found out, there is no direct flight from Toronto to Kansas City. So I got to go Halifax, Toronto, Chicago, Kansas City.
That's not great. Have you been to Kansas City before, though?
No, I have not.
I actually like Kansas City. I think it's kind of a nice Midwest, city. Food's pretty good. Good vibes to it. And it's not like, it's pretty cheap. So all reasonably good things. It'd be my expectation for what I thought. Some of these Midwest cities are not great. So, it's solid spot.
Connor, I would like you to alienate more of the audience and give me your bottom 3 Midwest cities.
Oh man.
He's ready.
Do you want me to start with the worst or okay? So bottom 3 Midwest cities, we're going to go Detroit for sure. They're not the worst. So they're like second worst. Third worst. Okay, so I'm going to do Green Bay, Detroit, and then St. Louis is for sure the worst. Like by far the worst Midwest city, not close. It's just an awful, like you go there and like you walk around the downtown area. I think like they had some like businesses leave or something like that. No one is there. Like it is like a ghost town. It looks like it's out of like I Am Legend. Like I've been there multiple times and it's just like empty streets. It's one of the wildest things ever. The only thing that's popping in this school is Ballpark Village. And it's like for like young 20s. So like, that's it. So once you're not young 20s, it's not that cool anymore. And I don't know, the food, like their pizza, Emo's Pizza, terrible. It's like a sweet sauce with like terrible crust, awful cheese. So yeah, not a fan of St. Louis. I just don't think anyone lives I don't think anyone lives in the city. Like it's like they all live in the suburbs.
Noonan, would you like to alienate some cities and a viewer base?
No. I will say this about Green Bay. It doesn't really count. It's just like it's so small. Like have you ever been to Lambeau? Like first of all, it's amazing. You got to go to Lambeau. Yeah. You're just in a suburban neighborhood, and then boom, there is a huge football field, and it's like it could not be more strange in terms of like the neighborhood. So I almost think it doesn't count. I will echo Connor's sentiments. St. Louis it's not great. I've only been twice. I would love to know, Connor's, outside of Chicago, what would be the best Midwest city? Because I will give it. I think Indy is actually low key a pretty cool little downtown area.
Yeah, I like Indy a lot. Milwaukee is pretty nice.
Milwaukee's actually pretty great. I love Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee's got a lot of good spots. There's like a bunch of nice like neighborhoods with like different strips of bars and cool like little places along the lake. So I like Milwaukee. Indy is kind of fun. Kansas City's up there for sure. I don't know how many other Midwest cities we got left, to be honest, that are like even somewhat relevant. Did I miss any here? I'm trying to think. Like it depends. What do you consider Ohio? Like is Ohio part of the Midwest or is it part of the East? That's like a great debate too.
I don't know. Debates I have with anyone because I still consider the fact Midwest to be absolutely ludicrous.
It's
what?
So yeah.
What's the Midwest of the East?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Cleveland's kind of dumpy too, so you can add that to the list. If you count that as Midwest, they're dumpy. So
I enjoyed my time in Detroit. I've been like 3 times, and I've enjoyed it every time.
I had a blast. I went for the draft. Got to shoot some crap. Yeah, I just don't think it's. There was like millions of people there, which was awesome, and still it was just like these like gray, drab buildings, and like I don't know. It's just like not a. You can tell it's just not an awesome place. I went there for another like a DraftKings Live final too. Not just. I could tell. It's
just elitist Chicago takes is what this is, Pat. This is like just
for sure.
That's really what's going on here.
Did Minneapolis and St. Paul count as Midwest?
Oh yeah, for sure. I like Minneapolis.
Minneapolis ruled. I've been there like 7 times. It's awesome.
It's just cold, super cold. That's my only complaint is it's even colder. It makes Chicago cold look like nothing. That's all I'll say.
Well, you guys are coming off a very good week. I am not. Since we have spoken last week, I had a few nice hits on Thanksgiving, but I got like wiped out over the past 7 days. All the goodwill I had built up for like 3 weeks, gone over a 7-day period. You know what happened to me? I started trusting my own instinct too much. I was riding the sharp stack system. I was like, college football, perfect. NBA, perfect. And I was like, you know what? There was one sharp stack NBA thing. And it's not like I follow a ton of NBA. I was like, that just seems off to me. I'm gonna fade the computer. And I got it right. So then I started fading the computer a bunch, Noonan, and I lost all my money.
Yeah. That's
when you
kind of
know
how
better.
it goes. You start to know. Yeah, you start to know ball too much, Pat. It gets in the way of actual, sharp stack stuff. So let's get back on the wagon today. Feel good about it. Pats are playing. Vibes are high. Great week of football, I thought. And like next week, we're talking about it with Jared before the show. Like this slate of games, week 14, like the conspiracy theorists that the NFL is rigged and scripted, those bros are on fire today because they are so stoked that schedule looks like it's out of, that you would just have been created last night. It's a great week 14 slate. So yeah, I'm excited for ball.
See, I always lump you in with Chicago. I forget that you're from the East Coast, from New England, even.
Yeah, I'm just a little north of Boston. But I've been here in Chicago for, most of my life at this point. So, it is a great city, but yeah, I'm a Bostonian, New Englander at heart.
Well, let's hear I want your take. The worst 3 places to go in New England.
Oh man. Well, Connecticut doesn't count. We barely accept it.
What? Why would Connecticut not count?
So basically, Connecticut is made up of a bunch of people that live and work in New York City. It's cheaper for them. So it's like the, especially like northwestern Connecticut. It's basically, the stepchild of New England. So we accept it as the 6th state. Those lines were drawn a long time ago, but in terms of like, there's just a lot of like those New York sports fans or like New Jersey sports fans or whatever. Like, so they're last. And that's kind of it. I mean, Providence isn't great. It's not a great city in Rhode Island. Rhode Island itself is nice along the coast, but Providence it would not be one of my favorites. I don't know. It's kind of it. The rest of New England's pretty great. Maine, super underrated. Like Maine beaches, the coast of Maine, York, Kennebunkport, all that stuff. You want to go into, Portland. It's lovely. New Hampshire, massively underrated. I will say like Hampton Beach, New Hampshire is not my favorite, but you want to go up to the mountains, Conway, all that's, it's absolutely lovely. Portsmouth, kind of the area that I'm from. And then Vermont. Who doesn't love Vermont? It's beautiful up there. So super underrated. Rare that, like kind of like parts of California where you can be in the mountains, legit mountain range, and then, on the beach in the same day in the course of like an hour car drive. So yeah, New England, highly underrated.
Connor, as someone who is from, the time zone just over, but just north of these places, don't ever go to Maine. There's no reason.
What? I have not been to Maine. But I kind of want to go. Just like, I don't know. I haven't spent too much time in the Northeast, so
come out my way then. At least come get some good golf and come to like a real city.
I love it. This is a war on Noonan's past, and I'm very here for it.
Outside of Boston, the rest of New England's basically New Brunswick, which no one ever wants to go to. It's like a place where you drive through.
It's just like woods, right? Like, does anyone live there or no?
There's like 700,000 people. It's giant. New Brunswick's probably bigger than all of New England combined.
Yeah,
and they speak French half the
Boston.
time.
Yeah. Well, Boston's a great major city. It's terrible to drive in, but it is fantastic to experience, especially, here in the US. We read all about the history and you actually just like go to it. Like the field trips that I went on as a kid in school, like you just go back and read the history books and then get to go to the place. It's amazing. It's
big history guy.
Unlike anywhere else.
I love going to Boston. It reminds me of here with the downtown that features all one-way streets because the streets were concocted like 250 years ago for horses. They barely fit cars on them. Everything's really old. It's awesome. It's like I said, the bigger version of where I live. It rules. Let's get to New England, though. Giants at New England at coolbet.com right now. It's 7 minus 109. There are still 7.5s lingering out there if that's what you want to end up taking. Sorry, Noonan, I like the Giants and the points in this game.
It's fair. Patriots have a couple of important offensive line injuries that are impactful here. 7's probably, I would probably still lean New England. 7.5, I think would be. I would understand why people would be there. It's not a side that I'm looking to hammer with the bye week coming up. Like the Patriots just kind of need to get on the other side of some of these injuries. So there's no way, shape, or form that I'm ever taking the Giants. We're really going against the Pats in the spot to begin with, but I understand why someone would. I think there's some pretty good schematic matchups specifically that fit the Giants here.
Well, Connor, the way I think about it, it's all those offensive line injuries. How is this offense going to look when Drake May has no protection on his blind side?
Yeah, when he's under duress, like the Giants do have a good pass rush. It hasn't necessarily fleshed out in terms of pressure rate, but they have been able to get a lot of sacks. And so I think this is a bigger test up front for them. We're missing Will Campbell, missing Jared Wilson. And so that's a big deal here. And Jackson Dart he's been spicy. Like he figures out ways to win and figures out ways to keep the game close. And so I kind of like the Giants here. You can get some 7.5. I don't mind that at all. Also wonder too, I think the biggest thing that we might know like pretty quickly is if the Patriots are able to run the ball, right? So like Patriots are able to run the ball, they probably still win by margin here. But if the Giants can slow down the running game like at all, or if the offensive line injuries matter like at all to the running game as well, which I think they could, then that's a big deal because the Giants right now are, getting absolutely gashed on the ground. We know the Patriots want to run the ball. So I think that honestly might dictate the game right away, or at least just like be a good indicator of which way, if the game's going to be close or not.
It's also been a week of good teams getting got. So big money line underdogs outright winning these games. Why can't the Giants cover this and win this game outright, Noonan, at 3-1?
Because you can't load the box against New England, right? Because the Giants, they need to. Their run defense has been so bad. Drake May is so good. Competing deep balls, doesn't matter who the guy is. Like they've just kind of rotated in some pretty average to below average receivers. So it makes it really hard schematically to scheme up. And that's kind of what I feel like the Giants need to do. They would need to be in a spot where they would sell out to stop the run. And I don't think the Patriots will allow you to do that. And like, I agree with Connor. Jackson Dart's been spicy. I'm intrigued to see how much spice remains considering that he's coming off of the concussions, right? And part of the spice appeal here is his ability to create outside of structure, to be a runner. And I'm interested to see if he is reluctant to do that or if he just kind of still has the DGAF and is just going to be trying to like bury his shoulder into guys as he's running out of bounds, because that's definitely been, part of the appeal here. So the Patriots, I think, are just hard to scheme against offensively. Now, again, the offensive line issues are real. They'll show up, but I don't think the Giants are live to win.
I think this a lot depends on Dart, Connor, that what Noonan just pointed out. Like, is he going to come back from a concussion, lead with his head at people? I think that he's going to do that because I don't think that's something you can tell someone not to do. And then in the middle of a play, they just revert to what they always do.
And that seems to be the general vibe. The reporters have asked the coaching staff like multiple times. Obviously, there's been a coaching change here. And, there are even rumors that, Dable was essentially fired because he couldn't keep Dart healthy, essentially. But the vibe that, they asked Kafka about it and they're like, are you going to run him less? He's like, oh, well, certainly something we're going to monitor, but he's going to play how he's going to play and we need to win. And like Dart's kind of shrugged it off too of like, oh yeah, I don't see an issue with it. Like, I'm going to just keep playing the way I play. Do I think that's great for the long-term prospects of the Giants franchise? Probably not. But for this week and what we're looking at here, like, they fall behind a little bit. I think he might just start running. It's just like in his nature. So we'll see how many designed runs or like if they're running like, I don't know, like a read option or like a power, option with him at like the goal line or anything, short yard stuff. But I think he's going to scramble a good bit regardless, to be honest.
I'm not quite sure what the division matchups are for next year's schedule, Noonan, but the Giants are going to be everyone's sleeper team next season.
Yeah. And I think probably rightfully so. I mean, they've, I think, showed a little bit of pulse. You're going to get Malik Neighbors back. You're going to be bad enough to have a solid draft pick. It's the second year of Abdul Carter. There's a lot of things there that you would like. They're definitely trending. And I think there are obviously some questions in the division. It's actually going to, I think, probably a pretty interesting division heading into next year too. So they're definitely a viable sleeper candidate. Right? We're always looking for those like worst to first scenarios because we seem to have them pretty frequently. And I think you're right. The Giants will second year quarterback, second year edge rusher, new coach, whatever that looks like. They'll be trendy.
And fourth place schedule.
Yeah, which matters. And the Patriots are, benefiting from that now. The Colts have benefited from that this season. It's a huge, huge impact. And again, you're still going to have some tough teams in there, but you can get some of these just massive drifts in the schedule where, a team gets like 6 wins just because they're playing a bunch of layups, and Giants probably one of those teams.
Once again, schedule announcement. We are not going to be doing the show next Monday because I'm traveling. We have a special show dropping in that place. So please sub to Mayo Media Network, turn on the notifications, and smash the like while you're here. The round 1 and 2 of the player prop draft for Monday Night Football is coming up right after this. You know how it goes. Every holiday season, I tell myself I'm way ahead on gifts, then suddenly I'm the week of, and I'm not. And I'm panicking, scrolling through nonsense. But this year, actually nailed it. Because when you send Omaha Steaks, you're not sending a gift. You're sending the world's best steak experience. Hosting, gifting, last minute scrambling, they got you covered. I've been hammering these filet mignons, USDA certified, very tender. Throw them on the cast iron, little butter base. It's holiday magic without any of the stress, and gifting them. Every single person I've sent Omaha Steaks to acts like I handed them gold bars. Convenience, quality, variety, it's all there. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code MAYO at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code MAYO. You know how much time I spend researching bets and lineups and shows and getting everything ready for you? So when it's actually time to sleep, I need it to count. That's why I switched to a Helix mattress, and honestly, game changer. I have Helix mattresses all over my house. My wife and I have one. The guest room has one. My kids have one. I got a kid on the way, and eventually they're going to have one too. Even Jared over at the studio living there, I got him a Helix mattress as well. Populated with Helix, you need to do it too. I used to wake up with a stiff back and night sweats. Now I just sleep through the night. No tossing around, no overheating. It's just comfortable and supportive. I took their quiz, I tailored it to myself, and boom, I got exactly what I needed from the mattress I deserve. I think you deserve a nice one too. So go to helixsleep.com/Mayo for 27% off, and exclusive to Pat Mayo Experience listeners. That's helixsleep.com/Mayo for 27% off. Make sure to enter my show name after checkout so they know I sent you. helixsleep.com/Mayo. Welcome back. Round 1 of the player prop draft for Monday Night Football. Giants at New England is underway. I was 0-2 last week. I was the big loser. Still above 500 for the year. Noonan and Conner both went 2-0. Noonan, I think you're something outrageous like 15-3 so far this year. And you gave out a bonus tackle prop in that one too.
Yeah. I would like to appeal for the, bonus bets to count, but we don't need it. 15-3. Got 3 more bangers for the people today. So we'll give out probably, depending if you guys don't, cuck one of my bets, we'll have a third bet that'll be a tackle for people. So we're good.
Connor, you got your undefeated week under the belt. You're above 500 now too. The computer's above 500. We need to band together to catch Noonan now.
Yeah, I mean, the tackle props almost seem like a cheat code. These are just like
those aren't even counting for the record. They're not even counting.
Well, you know what? I don't have anything else. I don't have any other excuses for you then of why you're so good. I got nothing else.
Well, I will lead this week because I was the loser of last week. So I'm hoping not to go 0-2 again. We'll be using the Sharp Stack tool. That's up at 4for4.com/Mayo right now. Code Mayo. Get you 25% off. You want to jump in on this. But I'm going one that the computer doesn't like. I'm going anti-computer on this one. It kind of nothings this bet, but I like it, and it all depends on this offensive line. I do think that there's going to be some struggles, but eventually I think that May will get enough time to be looking down the field. And that's one of my impacts on this game, that if they don't get the amount of time, it's not like the offensive line was amazing in New England by any stretch, but losing your best two guys is going to speed up Drake May a lot. That is he going to have time to let those over-the-top routes actually develop and hit these guys in stride? I'm hoping it happens at least once, and I'm hoping it happens for Kayshon Boutte, the Boutte man, over 19 and a half longest reception, Connor, in this game.
It's a fun one. I don't mind it at all. I was looking at some derivative of May longest completion overs, Giants allowing one of the highest rates of like 10+ yard completions in the league. May is one of the best completion rates in 10+ yard completion. So yeah, it's going to be about time. And I'm sure there'll be at least a couple plays where Giants pass rush doesn't get home and he hits a big one. Or like to Noonan's point, they do try and load the box and then just takes one quick one and he breaks it. So I think there's a lot of different ways that this can win.
Noonan, the printing press that was the Alec Pierce over longest reception finally got dinged yesterday. They initially gave it to him. It was 22 and a half, and he had a 23-yard reception, which got stat corrected to a 22-yard reception. He went 19, 19, 18, and 22 on his 4 catches. So he almost got there. Pollard went over for the first time in like 10 weeks. Fortunately, my main man, Genty, ended up going under his rushing yards again, like he does every week.
That's just, I think it's probably been one of the best bets of the year. Just if you were to look at the return, I know Connor, I think, is played it officially for subscribers at 4 for 4, like I think maybe 2 or 3 times at least. But I feel like our community is just always like when it opens, people are sharing what the number is and just blind betting it. Yeah, it's been a tough year for Genty.
So the other two that I'm riding now, Connor put me onto one of them was the Cam Ward over passing attempts, which is always in the low 30s. And it's a bad sweat because eventually he gets there, but it never really looks that good in the first half when they just keep going 3 and out every single time. But that got there yesterday. And the Pat Bryant longest reception continues to hit because they keep listing it at 13 and a half, 14 and a half, and he gets his 2 deep shots a game. You just pray he comes down with one of them.
Yeah, I played the Cam Ward thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that was
it looked rough early. Yeah, it was brutal early because they couldn't get a first down. So like we needed a lot of magic in the second half, and yeah, he went over by a few. So it's good luck.
Well, since you guys were 2-0, that means the computer is up to pick next. Let's check in with SharpStack to see what's going on over there right now. Again, 4for4.com/Mayo to check it all out. The best EV on the board right now for football is actually Jackson Dart passing attempts under 29.5 at +110. Let's go with that. Dart under passing attempts. And you see, this is one, Noonan, that I don't love, but here we are.
Same. Plus money is nice. Just definitely a big piece of the EV on that. But yeah, I don't love it either. It's telling you basically that New England is going to run the football, sustain drives, and basically limit the plays that the Giants have, especially there in the second half. So don't love it, but my brain's not built for that type of bet to begin with.
Let's see what the old projections say, because that is plus money. Yeah, he's right at that number, 29.7. So the projections have him going over like 50.2% of the time. But Connor, obviously, that would mean that +110 on the other side is the proper way to play this.
Yeah, it makes sense. Also, too, like even though I think they play from behind to some aspect here, like he has gone under this like 4 of 7 times as a starter so far, even in like big losses. So yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly possible that he still goes under here. And if the Giants keep it close, like I think that they run the ball a ton. So we'll see. And we'll see how much he runs, because that obviously matters a lot for this prop too.
Well, just taking a look at the rushing attempts, then we could try to shade that way if we wanted to. But I guess the one part that's tricky with this, and it didn't matter for Chase Brown a week ago because he gashed the New England run defense, Noonan, but it's been so good all year that there's a chance they just abandon the run if it keeps not working.
Yeah, the Milton Williams injury is another low-key one that's been impactful for the Pats. He's a fantastic pass rusher from the interior, but he also has been, he and Christian Barmore have really been kind of just space eaters in the middle and have allowed the run, linebackers to roam free. So, another injury that they need to get on the other side of as we kind of, enter late December in the playoff run, but something that allows teams in the short term to take advantage of them.
All right, well, Noonan's the overall leader. So, Connor, that means it is your selection, your gold pick, first round pick in the prop draft.
I'm going to go with the longest reception over as well. I'm going to go with Darius Slayton over 17.5 longest reception. With Dart, he has a 18+ yard reception in 6 of his 7 starts. Also came back last week, 65% route rate last week. So I think that's going to go up. I think, Hodgins will still play, but I think we see a lot of Slayton and probably a couple deep shots or a couple longer. Like when he does get targeted, it's, 20 yards downfield. So all he's got to do is come down with one of them. And I think he plays a little bit more. So I like Slayton's odds here to just catch one.
Let's see. The best in market I can get you right now is Darius Slayton over 17.5 minus 115. That's good for you?
That's great.
17.5. All right, Noonan. You never lose. What's the best pick?
Best pick I gave out to subscribers 4 for 4 yesterday. It's moved a little bit, but I'm still okay playing it. And I think you can tell me what the best price is, but I'm go with Drake May rushing yards. I think over 22.5 is available. Yeah, he's been running a ton. Actually, last couple of games is slowed down a little bit, which I think is actually impacting the line here. But a couple schematic things here. First of all, the Giants have allowed the most quarterback rushing yards in the league this season. But a couple of things in particular. Drake May is just a very willing scrambler. Only Justin Fields and Jaden Daniels, and again, Justin Fields doesn't really count at this point, have a scramble rate greater than 10% on the season. And then where Drake May really kind of separates is when he's pressured. So that's, again, part of the handicap for the entire game is that he's probably going to get pressured a little bit more than normal. And he's been pressured a lot all season long. He's taking sacks at a pretty high rate still. He'll need to kind of fix that up as he moves forward. But he is scrambled when pressured at 23.5% of his pressures this season. It's a pretty high rate. 22.5 or so. Again, I don't think we see a lot of designed runs from Drake May tonight, but again, he can get there on 3 carries at this number.
So looking at it right now, what would you play this one up to?
I'd play it up to like 24.5, 25.5. I see the draft. I play the DraftKings number 23.5 minus 110. Absolutely.
Yeah, but 23.5 minus 110, you can go to Pinnacle and you can get 20.5, but it's minus 143. For the purposes of this show, because it's under the minus 120 threshold, Hard Rock has a 21.5 over at minus 120.
Yeah, and I see you can get Prop Builder 22.5 minus 103. That's a good look too. So yeah, I'll take whatever one you give me.
Yeah, well, we'll do that one because we want to rack up some wins here on the show. We want to end up being profitable. But you're right. The better number is, where is it?
Right there.
Yeah, what book is this?
It's Prop Builder. So like, Bovada, if you have offshores, that's kind of whatever that sports betting is.
Yeah, that's 17 cents for the extra yard is well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so that's the first round of the draft. We got Booty. Longest catch, 19.5. Slayton on the other side, longest catch, 17.5. Noonan's going with Drake May over 21.5 rushing yards. Jackson Dart under 29.5 passing attempts at plus 110. Noonan, snake draft style, you're back up.
This is a bet that I've personally played for 4 straight weeks. I'm going to go back to the well on Wan'Dale Robinson over 5.5 receptions. He's had at least 9 targets in 5 of his past 6 games. 11 and more of 3 of his past 4, which brings in some Jackson Dart games. So this is not a number that's been propped up by, just Jameis. And again, don't forget the Green Bay game. Like they barely threw. They ran at like an insane rate. So it's not like Jameis just came in and was cooking. He's been doing this even with Jackson Dart here. And again, obviously the game script could very well favor a decent amount of dropbacks here, and he's the preferred target. So whether it's like really short little, low ADOT stuff, or, we saw him win vertically against Detroit. I think he can catch, 6 balls in the spot. So I don't mind alts here if you wanted, but for the sake of this 5.5 minus 110, I think is pretty widely available.
Connor, this now goes to you. I did have a question about trying to correlate some of these props. I mean, you don't have to put them together, but just to figure out how they mesh. That if you think that Dart ends up throwing the ball more, because Jameis was never really a big check down type of quarterback, yet he started to do that more in the few games that he ended up playing. So you saw Singletary with a few catches, Tracy with even more. Do you think that Dart goes back to passing to his running backs, or is the move Dart over rushing attempts and Tyrone Tracy like under 2.5 receptions?
I think that's it. That is an interesting correlation. I kind of lean towards he's going to keep targeting his running backs. So, I mean, like I think he had like an 18% target share to running backs before he got injured. And that was, mostly to Cam Scadaboo. So yeah, I think he, which is about league average right now. So I think that he's like a league average quarterback in terms of that. But I do think the matchup here for the Patriots allowing over 5 receptions per game to opposing running backs, Tracy over 2.5 was going to be potentially one of mine as well. So I think that's kind of an interesting look there because he's playing a lot. And the matchup's good, and I do expect him to throw a reasonable amount, but even at like whatever 28 to 30 attempts, I think it could easily get there.
So is that going to be your pick, or do you have a better one?
I'll roll with that. Let's roll with that as my pick. 2.5 receptions. I mean, I'm just riding these running back reception overs here. I'm 1-0.
I am blown away. I got to be honest. I'm blown away. That Connor, not only putting overs, but it's over on running back receiving stuff is just a real shift. This is totally heel turn. I know Pat's a wrestling guy. This is definitely what's going on here. So good for you, Connor. I love it. You got to adapt.
Keep the people on their feet. You got to keep them on their toes and keep them guessing. Just when you think I'm going to go all unders, I got two overs.
Any worry in this game that it's going to be played in sub-freezing temperatures?
Well, let me see. What do we got? A wind report or like a snow report here?
I didn't see any snow, but I did see that it was going to be right around 27 degrees without the wind.
I think Drake May has big hands, and so does Jackson Dart, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, we have more to be frozen.
No, I mean, like the small hands, the baby hands are when they get in trouble because then they can't grip the ball because it's like too slippery. Like Jared Goff, he's got a little baby hands, so he can't grip the ball in cold weather. So I think that they'll be fine as long as there's no wind. I moonlighted as a weatherman at one point, Pat. I was a fantasy weatherman for a couple of years, so should be fun.
Well, you doubled as a fantasy weatherman a few weeks ago when Caesars didn't pay you out on those bets.
that was rough. Still made some money off them, but yeah, it got resolved kind of.
Oh, really? Did they apologize to you?
I had someone call me like personally and reach out, and put him on blast worked. Don't let the big man bully you.
So Noonan, do you worry about the weather at all?
No, it's a lovely Foxborough evening. It'd be nice. Fine.
All right, let's go to the computer. See what SharpStack is saying for its next best pick. Click back over to the EV tool up at 4for4.com/SharpStack. If you want to get in, 4for4.com/Mayo will get you the 25% off. Top EV on the board, Drake May under rushing yards. Oh, so sorry, Noonan. The computer hates your pick.
Well, it's because we moved it, right? So, we can both win here, but let's check the scoreboard. Jared, can we get an update on the score here? Computer versus Noonan so far this year. I think you
are winning.
Thank you, Jared. So
yeah, you got it.
So this will slip down to, since we don't want to go against ourselves, we will go to Drake May under 0.5 interceptions thrown at -115.
Yeah. Can take the lead for MVP after what Stafford and company did yesterday. I still think Stafford's probably the right bet, but you get a better number on Stafford tomorrow morning probably than you will now. So Drake May is going to go out and cook. And the ball hits the ground, I'd be surprised, but it's definitely not hitting any Giants' hands. So I like the computer here.
Well, there's different ways you can play this out. I like to think about this sometimes like a DraftKings showdown lineup. That I do like the Giants in this game. I think the Giants are super live to win for some of the factors that I mentioned. You have the not bad weather, but you have cold weather might slow guys down. Guys are a bit, frigid out there, not as loose as they would normally be. Maybe, and someone ends up just taking a shot to the leg and getting hurt. It's harder to get better in the cold weather than it would be in the warmer weather where you can get, be able to sit down, stretch it out. It's going to be difficult to do that here. And with the O lineman down, that there is a path here that Connor pointed out that the front seven is good. They should be able to get pressure, that things go wildly off script here. Now, I would probably want to create a same game parlay or an underdog entry to go and play out that scenario. But obviously, Connor, by the spread, that's not the most likely scenario to happen. But if you said like 4 sacks, a fumble, a pick for Drake May, and the game is like way under, like 13-10 or something, like that is a story that could be told in this game.
Yeah, I like that. And I think when you're building your slips like that, those kinds of, I don't know, like playing out on like unusual game scripts basically can lead to like way higher results because you can take alts as well, especially with like the, underdog slips. Either higher or, like way lower on passing yards or way higher in passing yards, maybe in this instance, if he's throwing a bunch, because I don't think that they have him anywhere near his ceiling of pass attempts here. Same with like rushing attempts for some of these other guys. Like if the Pats are, I don't know, in a close or falling behind game, like maybe they're just not running as much. So it's there's a lot of different ways that you can build out a slip, and the interception sack one is pretty interesting. Just like a stinky Drake May game out of nowhere would be. I mean, it's happened in island games before. It wouldn't. This was a weird week, so you never know.
I doubled down. I missed it last week, Noonan, when I had the under rushing attempts, over total yards for McCaffrey. I did the opposite this week. I went over rushing attempts, under rushing yards. Quick 9-1 payout, no big deal.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good look. Yeah, good spot. Yeah, what did we try to do last week? We tried to thread the needle last week.
We had it. He had one more touch and went over the number.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he was heavily involved right away, but that did slow down. So, yeah, uncorrelated, I think, are great ways to do it. You can't take the ceiling as much when you do what you did this week, but you still can kind of live in that like 650 to 9-1 range. And yeah, there's definitely good ways to do it. It's like the old adage of like, remember when Showdown was new? It was like your lineup has to tell a story. That's kind of what we're talking about here, right? So your pick'em slip should kind of tell a story based off of what you think the game's going to do. Makes sense.
Yeah, and now that the entire Showdown strategy is just use Sims, it'll work.
Yeah, just sim it 100,000 times. I'm not a Showdown guy. I've never been a Showdown guy. It feels like such a lotto to me.
It's so fun.
But if you could have, it's the lotto, but you can slant it in your favor. So instead of having a 0% chance of winning, you can have like a 0.00003 chance of winning.
Yeah, I know I'm alone there. It's a huge game. Connor loves it. Not even a big DFS guy. He loves Showdown. But yeah, it's not for me.
Do you love Showdown, Connor?
Yeah, you have to hit a big one, but I play, I'd say almost every slate. I'll at least do like 20 and then max out like the smaller stuff and then, dabble in some bigger stuff. It depends if I have a big stand and like I'm just like willing to like lock someone. I don't play like I don't think most other people play. Maybe how you play. Like if I have a strong take, I just like lock the guy or put like min 80% exposure and then just like ride or die with that. Like I don't care if I come in last. Last night I locked Troy Franklin, did not work out. But in other cases, like I locked Bowers in the noon slate and that was pretty good. So worked out. Didn't hit anything big, but a couple other breaks the right way, and I think it would have been a good spot.
Yeah, I like playing the main slate. I have not played a single Showdown lineup yet this year. I've just moved all of that money that I used to play on that over to Underdog. I'd rather just play an Underdog ticket, like a 3-banger, 5-banger, and go that way.
Main slates are there's just so many things going on. Like it's just really tough for me to like, I don't know, grasp all of it, I guess. There's just like so many different, like A-Chain was an awesome play this week, but Bijan Robinson outscored him, and like you can't fit both those guys, and like you have to kind of make stances if you're only making a certain amount of lineups. So I think main slates are better if you have like, I don't know if you're playing even more lineups, to be honest. Like I need more lineups than just 20, which is what I play most of the time.
You could fit both guys. You just had to use, like a Cam Ward who got you no points.
I did. I had the perfect lineup for that, but then I screwed up the rest of it. But I ended up I actually talked about it on the Saturday show. It's like, if you want to jam in 2 high-priced guys, you need to go Tyrod, AD Mitchell, John Mechie with Bijan coming back, and then you still have enough money for A-Chain. It's just I used no one else who did anything good in those lineups.
Just straight zeros otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, it cashed. It cashed in the $100 single entry. It cashed in the Millie Maker. It cashed in the 33 5 max. It was a really good lineup. I got too much wrong in it to be anywhere near the top.
I mean, that's how that was the Millie Maker winner, right? It was that exact setup, and then they had I don't know, a couple other, I think Bowers, and then a couple other people. But yeah, it was literally the Jets Falcons run back.
Yeah, I think that I had McBride in that one, and that's what wiped me out of money. So I had to use like the shittiest defense on the go. If I had just used Bowers instead, I would have had money to get to a good D. Like, once you play that lineup, Seattle's D is off the board.
Oh yeah, because they were 3,900 and they scored 30. They played against a CFL quarterback.
Listen, I'm usually the one who disparages the CFL on this show, but that's insulting to even the CFL.
Hey, former UNH Wildcat quarterback Max Brosmer. We don't get a lot of UNH Wildcats in the NFL.
Probably for a good reason.
For a good reason. Yeah, it's true.
When you're looking through like his profile coming to the game, I'm like, well, what's this guy doing here? Like, was this like a D1 AA or FCS quarterback for a couple of years? Had like a fine year in Minnesota and is now starting for the Vikings. I'm sure this is going to go great.
Yeah, my NFL initiative of if Jameis isn't currently starting for a team, he should be allowed to back up whoever. So he should have played for Minnesota yesterday.
Automatic quarterback. I like it.
It would be great.
It would be great.
And as pointed out to me, that it would make great content for the NFL as well. How fun was Jameis doing his Thanksgiving stuff, talking about Taysom Hill, turning him on to sending turkeys straight to his door. Like, he just seems like the most affable guy. Put him on a bus, get him around the country, film him while he's doing all this stuff, and he just stops in different cities and plays quarterback for them that week.
You got like a joint sharing agreement between each team. It's like a Jameis fund, just like a backup quarterback anyone can use. It'd be awesome.
It would be. And the games would be much better.
Yeah, because you don't have to watch Max Brosmer or whatever play quarterback. That was painful.
It's the first time in a while that I've seen a quarterback look overwhelmed to be in the NFL. Just like really panicky throws, like throwing it too hard, throwing it too high, throwing it way too short, like nothing. It's just like he was in the game, the adrenaline was pumping, and he could not control his body anymore.
Yeah, he gave Justin Fields a run for his money with his passing ability there.
At least Justin Fields can run, kind of.
Yeah, right. Fields can definitely run. But JJ McCarthy, I mean, he's better than Brosmer, I guess. That's pretty low bar, but
that should be the new Vikings t-shirt that they sell at the game, Noonan. Better than Brosmer.
Well, they got the back-to-back weeks, and I don't want to give credit to whoever originally sent it. I don't know what it was, but it was like they could have taken a knee on every play or just intentionally grounding every time, and they would have had higher QBR than what they actually went out and did. Imagine, I mean, that probably a broken stat if that's the case, but pretty wild stuff. I was mad. I had over 3.5 sacks on the Seahawks at plus 135. So when he threw that pick, I was pretty pissed at the time because I wanted that sack. We got there anyway. They did get 4 sacks on the day, but I wanted that one to count right away. So he got there. He delivered.
Was that the worst play of the season? It might have been, honestly.
It's the worst pick of the season, I think. Yeah, it was.
I see that one. I mean, it sucks because of the outcome, but I don't hate the idea. Like, I would much rather. I mean, I guess I wouldn't because of how it turned out. But it's 4th and goal. Like, you got to throw it up somewhere. It was just a terrible throw straight to a guy for a pick 6. I'd take that over the Shadur Sanders sliding on 4th and 26.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was bad. I mean, the Caleb Williams one too from the week prior against the Steelers, where you got the touchdown in the end zone where you just got whipped down. That was really bad too.
Yeah.
That wasn't great. That wasn't on 4th down though.
No, but down, right? His second, yeah. But the play was started on like, I don't know, it was like the 13th. Like, so he like dropped back and then dropped back again and then did the whirling dervish, and it was bad. It wasn't a pick technically. So I mean, even last night, the Bo Nix drilling Bobby Wagner between the 5 and the 4 was a pretty bad pick. Not necessarily as exciting as the Max Brosner one, but just overall, how do you not see the big middle linebacker standing right there? It's pretty egregious.
I would give Caleb an out on that because he's been shaking those guys all year that I think he just thought he could do it.
That's exactly what I said. It was against TJ Watt, right? So then it was like one of his like welcome to the league moments there where he's like, oh, I'm not more athletic than this person. I'm not going to get out of this. And then just got whipped to the ground. So I hopefully learned his lesson because he's been doing it all year against other guys. So.
All right. I want to talk about the playoffs. I want to talk about some futures, and I want to fill out an underdog entry. But first, buy these things. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Holidays, they're here, which means it's officially gift-giving season. Nothing says, I appreciate you, quite like the gift of smoothness of your balls. Whether you're shopping for your partner, your brother, or honestly, yourself, the Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate upgrade. This thing is a full grooming arsenal. You get the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Trimmer. Super precise, very reliable, and great for keeping everything neat before those holiday parties or date nights or random people that you haven't seen in 15 years that you meet at a bar when you go home at Christmas time. You want to be trimmed, all right? Plus, the Weed Whacker 3.0 for nose, ear, and eyebrow cleanup so you're not showing up with rogue hairs trying to ruin your family photos is a must. Give the gift of smooth this holiday season with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Get 15% off your entire order with code PATMAYO at manscaped.com. That's 15% off with code PATMAYO at manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. Now that I'm old, I've had to come to the fact that I just don't bounce back the way that I used to. I don't wake up in the morning feeling normal. And now that football season has started, that is absolutely unacceptable. I got work to do in the morning, and I got kids that are waking up. It's no good. But that isn't a problem anymore because I found ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. The ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic, invented by PhD scientists to tackle the rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for the rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol the first drink of your night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel the best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/PatMayo to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use PatMayo at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund you your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/PatMayo and use the code PatMayo at checkout for 15% off. Welcome back. I forgot to give out my last pick in the prop draft. It's Isaiah Hodgins over 20.5 receiving yards. You mentioned Slayton, Connor, that he played around 67% of the snaps in his return. We saw the same amount for Hodgins as well. They just ran exclusive 3 wide receiver sets. So, well, I don't love Slayton in this game. I like the longest reception look because he just might get deep at some point. I do think it's going to be Gonzalez, God willing, on Slayton, and then Hodgins is just going to be standing there a lot of the time.
Yeah, that would be good. I wonder, do you think that's like, I mean, he's not going to shadow him, but I mean, how much do you think who does Gonzalez see the most of in this game, basically?
I'm hoping Slayton would make the most sense to me.
Yeah, they don't typically shadow. They'll go strong side, weak side. So they don't typically do anything that would make me think that Gonzo shadows.
Do you have any fun tackle props, Noonan?
Yes. I'm going to give out Robert Spillane, Patriots linebacker, over 8.5 tackles and assists, -115, widely available. There's some like -130s, a little bit juicier. Projections are like a little over 9.2 or so. It's been a really good spot. New England scorekeeper favorable. Giants have allowed our opposing linebacker groups against the Giants this season have combined for like 19.6 tackles. Like league average is like 16.6. They play with pace, short intermediate passes. They target, the running backs, tight ends over the middle of the field. So I like Spillane to get 9 or 10 here.
So let's jump over to Underdog. Let's fill one out. We can take some off of this one if we want to and just see what we can get to, because we have a 40% profit boost to play with over at Underdog right now because you use code Mayo. Use code Mayo. Get yourself in. You get that 40% profit boost and figure it out. There we go. Let's see. I got Slayton, 17.5 longest reception. May over 22.5 rushing yards. Tracy higher than 2.5 receptions. Wandale 5.5 receptions higher. Kayshon Boutte 19.5 longest receptions higher. Spillane 8.5 tackles and assists. That's not quite even money. It's 0.86 to the higher. Which one would you guys want to get rid of?
We could probably get rid of one of the reception props, and I like Noonan's better. So let's get rid of Tracy. That way we're just not like locked in on Dart and the Giants having to complete, 15 plus passes here, basically.
Yeah. That having no lowers in this, Noonan, kind of freaks me out.
Feel good about it.
Okay.
We need Connor. He's got to carry the water here for us. So
yeah.
I sure as hell wasn't coming out with it another day.
It's 19.3 to 1 right now. Let's throw on that 40% profit boost. All right. 26.63. The max we can put on it is 50. So let's do that. Pays, let's see, 1,350, something like that. Perfect. I'm going to throw this into the live chat right now. If you're watching this after the fact, then you can just open up the replay tab and you can get the link directly in there, or you can just look at the screen and figure it out at the same time. Slayton, May, Robinson, Boutte, and Spillane, all hires right now. Oh, guys, I just check out the chat. There's people from St. Louis who are very upset with you, Connor.
Are there? I was about to say, this is, I'm sure people from St. Louis love St. Louis, so that makes sense. And I don't blame them.
It's nice to be proud of where you're from.
Totally. Yeah, I definitely get it. I just disagree. I just don't like where they live.
Mason in the chat said, no one in St. Louis goes downtown. All the cool neighborhoods are around downtown.
And that's exactly my point, is like, that's why it's a terrible city, is that no one lives in the city. Like, it's like the neighborhoods around the city can count if they're in a close vicinity, but like there are suburbs of St. Louis that are very nice, like very, very nice suburbs of St. Louis. But it's like, I'm not going to walk around Schaumburg and say like, call it Chicago, like that's like just not, it's not the same. Same with, Naperville or any of those other suburbs,
Sure.
I haven't been there. Actually, I've probably been there like 83 times in the airport, like once in a train station and like once actually in my life. But Ottawa is very much constructed the same way, where nothing happens downtown and everyone lives in the suburbs. Yeah. So don't go to the capital of Canada.
Yeah, right.
Also, very cold.
Really? I haven't been to Ottawa before, so I don't know. Only been to Toronto. That's it.
I've been all over Canada. I've never been to Ottawa.
Yeah, it's like, there's nothing there. Toronto's way more fun. Montreal's way more fun. Everything there is downtown, so that's the way to do it. I want to talk. Actually, let's Connor, start with you. Chicago guy. The Bears are first in the NFC. You feeling Super Bowl or bust now with these expectations?
Yeah, that was me. My best bets. Bears Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. I do think there's actually. If you don't mind laying juice, we'll go back to DraftKings wins. We got some great CLV so far on the Titans under 2.5 wins that we talked about a couple weeks ago. They're now minus 170 under 2.5. I think Bears under 11.5 wins is pretty interesting. They're 9-3 right now, so they'd have to win 3 more games. They have 2 games against the Packers, I think. 2 games
Niners.
And then they have Lions, Niners, Browns, who I think that they could honestly lose to. This is not a very good team. Like they're winning games. I still am not buying it. I would say the biggest thing that I saw against the Eagles was like their running game got going and they were able to dominate up front, which is like a massive. So if they can keep going with that, they can make games competitive. 3 wins is a ton there.
I kind of feel the same way, Noonan, about the Colts at this point, with Daniel Jones being banged up. Under 11.5 wins, under 10.5 wins for Indianapolis, let's find it here, is plus 120 right now, and they have a gauntlet the rest of the season. Like their final 5 games are tough.
No layups. Yeah, they 2 against Jacksonville. They are favored in Jacksonville this week. A great slate of games coming up. But then, the 2 with the NFC West, on the road to Seattle and then San Francisco, and then at home on the road in Houston to close. So it's a brutal stretch. That division is pretty wild right now. The fact that there are 3 live teams, it helps that they all get to play Tennessee twice. But I think who has Tennessee still, the Jags, they played this week and then they still got Tennessee in week 18. So that's really soft for them. So yeah, I like the Colts angles. Obviously they lost Sauce Gardner probably for a week or 2 at least. And obviously Daniel Jones dealing with the leg injury on the schedule. Yeah. It's kind of a tough slate to finish for them for sure.
Someone had been talking about this in my live chat on Sunday nights. You can go check out the Sunday show. It's up on all the feeds right now, audio and video. Emerson was on last night. Always good for a laugh.
Love Emerson.
He had the Colts at 22-1 3 weeks ago to miss the playoffs. They're down to plus 235 to miss the playoffs right now. And weirdly, I was trying to figure out, because you're always trying to figure out this way to get Kansas City back in, if that could actually work itself out. But Kansas City, the only team they have the tie break over is Indianapolis. So if you do play conspiracy theorist that the game is scripted and the playoffs are scripted, then Kansas City would get the last playoff spot with a tie break over Indy.
Tough.
Yep, it was actually in one of Taylor Swift's songs, and it's all in there. It's all written.
Just play it backwards.
You gotta play it backwards though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the one about Kelsey's dick. I just gotta play it backwards.
So Indy to miss the playoffs, I think, is a decent look right now, or maybe just under their wins. Because if they get to 10 wins, there's no guarantee at this point if the Chargers or the Chiefs even get there with the remaining schedule that the Chargers have and whatever the hell the Chiefs are up to.
Yeah. The Chiefs' price to make the playoffs is weird. It's definitely the expectation is for them to still make it. And, you laid out the scenario. They don't really have kind of a tough slate, and they don't have the tiebreaker against most of these teams, which is, pretty wild. So yeah, they continue to kind of mess around and they got to figure it out. I mean, they obviously still have the Raiders. They still have the Titans there. But Houston, Chargers, Denver, games that they should win. But I think we would have said that for a lot of games on the Chiefs schedule, including on the road in Dallas on Thanksgiving. So it'll be fascinating to see how it's played out and how, these big dogs, the teams we expected to be there at the end, if one of them or maybe 2 of them are out, would be crazy.
If you had to pick one of the favorites like preseason the teams we expected to be good, Connor, to win the Super Bowl this year. And I gave you Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincy, Kansas City, Detroit, and Philadelphia as your options. Who would be the team you would still have faith in?
Oh, still a faith in. Okay, I thought you were going to ask me who my initial take was, which was not looking good so far. See, the thing is that I think that if the Chiefs can make the playoffs, they would be my pick here. But I just don't know if I believe in Buffalo that much, which is kind of a problem. And they have like the best odds out of, I believe, that group that you listed there. They're at 9-1, 10-1. The problem is like the receivers, just like when you play a good team, like it's like the sum of parts pass catching group that I just don't. I mean, it's worked somewhat, but they just need a guy to come up from big for them. And it's obviously not Keon Coleman. Maybe sometimes it's Dalton Kincaid, sometimes it's Khalil Shakir. I just think that they're missing an alpha that can really move the chains for them consistently. So probably, again, if the Chiefs can make the playoffs, they're probably my pick. But outside looking in right now, 17-1 to win the Super Bowl.
It's probably just got to be Philly, isn't it, Noonan? No matter how badly we all feel about Philly.
Yeah, I feel pretty badly about Philly. But the defense is solid. I don't know. I just don't know how to pinpoint what happened. Again, the Bears just going down and running all over them was pretty wild and I think unexpected. So I think if we would have thought that the Bears go out and get a win there, it's going to be some Caleb magic or some turnovers or, pick six type stuff, a lot of just high variant plays, but they just got beat in the trenches by the Bears, just kind of wild. I'm kind of with Connor here. It's the Chiefs to me, just think they're still an above average defense that can match up and be really problematic at the wrong time for the opposition. And then still have, I think, a pass catching group that we thought when we got Rashee Rice back, we saw that little blimp of time, that first half against the Raiders. It's like, oh man, we got everyone back. Everyone kind of slides in the right spot. The pieces fit. Offensive line's playing better than it was last year. It just, they've kind of buried themselves in the corner. So they would be my pick if they were to still make it, because I don't trust the other teams as much. But I get Philly being on the other side of it too. And you look at the Super Bowl odds, it's 4 NFC teams before you even get to an AFC team.
I think that's because that's so condensed right now in the NFC that there might actually be a lot of value in the AFC. Like if you looked at the spread, AFC versus NFC right now, what would you suppose it is?
It's probably at least 2.5.
Probably NFC. Yeah, NFC 1.5 to 2, I guess.
So it seems like there's far more value on one of those AFC teams if you can figure out which one it is.
Yeah, that's the problem, is which one, because like the current AFC favorites, I don't think any of us really like all that much as teams, but they just keep winning. So they're going to win. Like they're going to be in good spots in the playoffs, or positionally. But do you want to bet on the Broncos, the Bills, the Patriots, or the Colts? No.
I'm trying to think of who I guess I would want to bet on the Bills out of those teams just because of Josh Allen. And my initial instinct would be, in the playoffs, I'd rather be Denver than be New England. But then it reverts back to the argument that I just had with the Bills. Like, just give me by far the better quarterback. And Drake May is the better quarterback.
So I don't know what better quarterback.
If those games are at home, I mean, I don't know that there is a huge home field advantage. But again, getting the bye is really impactful. So that's, still a really big piece this year too. And New England will come off the bye and host Buffalo. It's a really impactful game there. Baltimore on the road is a far less scary proposition than I think it was maybe even a month ago. And then they get the Jets and Dolphins. So the Pats are set up, I still think, fairly nicely to be the 1 seed. If you compare them with now the Colts falling back, the Bills, would need to really, really chase down. It really becomes them or Denver. And then Denver still has Green Bay, Kansas City, and the Chargers on the schedule. So Pat's getting the 1 seed sets them up nicely. I kind of agree. Still feel like we're a year away, but they've managed to, like, none of the injuries have been season ending. So, Will Campbell's coming back. Wilson's coming back. And Milton Williams is coming back. I feel like a homer saying it, but I feel like they're set up pretty well here.
Yeah, it's just if they have to, let's say Lamar gets himself a little bit healthier and starts looking like Lamar again. All of a sudden, you're, as a Pats fan, you really want to see Baltimore come in round 2?
No, absolutely not. It'd be terrifying. No, but what are we waiting for? Like, what's Lamar? He's not running.
Well, he keeps adding injuries on top of the injuries. Like when I can't believe he actually went over his rushing last week. That pissed me off so badly with him popping up with a new turf toe injury midweek. It's like, good Lord. This guy's falling apart before our eyes.
Taking sacks at a really high rate. It's always been part of his calling card is, his, I don't know, his ability to Caleb Williams back there and then create out of structure. And it's not happening. Taking sacks at a really high rate. Maybe Derrick Henry's lost a step ish.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just, it hasn't been good. The defense has been a pretty massive letdown. Yeah, I mean, they are still terrifying. It was my preseason Super Bowl pick. Felt, real good about it early, and they look like a wagon. And just Lamar is kind of a shell of himself. So would I be surprised if he flipped the switch and all of a sudden is that guy again? No. And we'll find out, right? New England will face them here shortly. But yeah, we just feel so far away from what that team is. Whereas I still kind of feel like I see it from the Chiefs at times. They just, I don't know what's going on with them either.
It does feel like one of those years, Connor, almost like the Ravens winning with Flacco year, that if the Texans just randomly got hot on offense for 4 weeks, that they could win the AFC if they got in.
Yeah, totally. I think it's like that's where the value is going to be, is on like on one of these fringe teams here. I mean, there's no way the Bengals can get in, right? They would have to like win out.
They can get in.
They can get in. What they desperately need is Baltimore and Pittsburgh to beat each other once.
And to win in Buffalo, right? They got to win the Buffalo game here this week because the slate is fairly soft. Behind, again, Miami, Arizona, Cleveland to finish is pretty nice. So, and they get the Ravens game too. But yeah, as Pat said, you need that those division games to kind of push out between Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
I mean, the Bengals are 150-1 to win the Super Bowl. They probably should not be that.
I bet on them to win the Super Bowl last night.
Their defense sucks. Don't get me wrong, but like Joe Burrow can do magical things. I mean, this is like, it's not quite the Josh Allen argument, but you give an awesome quarterback with two great weapons. Like, I mean, a lot of things can happen.
What Pat said though, the Texans are terrifying. That's a team, as a Patriots fan, that I do not want to come in wild card weekend. Patriots coming off of a bye. The Texans, went on the road somewhere. They knocked off the Bills, or they knocked off one of these teams.
They beat Jacksonville in the first round. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah.
They are, just in terms of like, if we think of the entirety from a unit standpoint in the AFC, I feel like Houston's defense will travel. It'll play well in weather. That's probably the best singular unit in the AFC right now. And yeah, they're terrifying. And again, they have Arizona, Las Vegas. They're going to be a problem for the Chargers with how the Chargers are currently constructed with that offensive line. And then the Colts again in week 18. So the Texans are a legit problem, even though I don't really believe in CJ Stroud, but they're kind of healthy. Some of these young guys are coming on, the Woody Marks, the receivers. There's just a lot of ways for Houston to be in the mix. So they are definitely a team, as a Patriots fan, that I'm worried about, that I really don't want to face.
They would have easily the worst offense in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, if Jacksonville gets in, I mean, Jacksonville's
offense is better than the Texans' offense.
I don't know. I don't know that I'm on board with that. They're both kind of mid quarterbacks. I think CJ Stroud is at least a little bit better. I think the Nico element is better than whatever, Brian Thomas Jr. or I don't know. They're both pretty bad, and Jacksonville's defense is nowhere near. It's way more smoke and mirrors than what Houston has going on.
It's far more smoke and mirrors, Connor, but the Jacksonville offense is better than the Texans can't block.
Noonan also didn't watch Jacoby Myers, clearly. Legend.
Yeah, former Patriot legend. Yeah. The Titans will do that to you, though, Jared. I mean, it's not something that I'm super, super scared of. I mean, I think Denver's defense obviously is in discussion with the Houston defense in terms of best units, but they're very similar teams to me. The Broncos and the Texans, right? Questions at quarterback. Sometimes it's like, what's going on here offensively? But I don't know. I don't know which quarterback I buy into more. It's definitely not Trevor Lawrence, that's for sure.
No, but I mean, CJ Stroud hasn't been good either. To talk about one of those fringe teams like the Texans, you can build the path because of their defense, Connor. Jacksonville has the talent, at least the perceived talent, on both sides of the ball, that if they just went unconscious for 4 weeks, you'd be like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess this team's good. And then they come back next year and they suck.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying this for a while though. It's like, oh, you got like the Liam Cohen thing, and then you have Brian Thomas, and you drafted Bashal Tootin, like they're running the ball reasonably well. They added Jacoby Myers, but then like it just hasn't really come together to the point where I mean, it's been the story of Trevor Lawrence's career, though. To Noonan's point, I side with you that I think the Jags offense is like marginally better than the Texans. I don't think it's a lot better, but they can run the ball better than the Texans, and the Texans try and run the ball but just can't because their offensive line is like still really, really bad. So for me, it's tough because like I don't know. I mean, what are the odds on the Jags right now to win Super Bowl? Like, are we at like 28-1? I'd probably rather take the Texans at 28-1, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Just the Jags have played really well against good teams this year and really poorly against bad teams, which is kind of strange. But just for the offensive side of it, like the Jags have scored almost 40 more points than the Texans have this year. So
Jacksonville get their doors blown off by the Rams. They pick 6 from like inside the 5 against the Chiefs. Seattle whooped them.
They're the Bears of the AFC.
They are 100%. Definitely.
Probably fair. Yeah. That's a pretty good comp, right? They both have been propped up by, insane turnover variance. Caleb Williams is better than Trevor Lawrence, though. So.
Trevor
Lawrence is a bum. He is, but they're hiding him. They're trying to hide him. He's not good. He's not good. I'm sorry, Jags fans. Emerson, I love you, bud. Your quarterback sucks. And you're on the hook for a ton of money for a bunch of years. Sorry.
Would you rather have the Lawrence contract or the Tua contract?
Oh, Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah, Tua's not good. That's rough.
The last thing in the chat after you just went scorched earth on all these Midwest cities, Connor.
What else we got?
JGH Maestro points out that no cities actually have good downtowns. I would push back on that, but that's
not true.
That is just not true at all. I mean, yeah. Chicago has plenty of good downtown areas.
Chicago's amazing. Turn off the news. I don't know what people are telling you about Chicago. Chicago's great. Boston's great.
Yeah, Boston's awesome.
Yeah,
New York has like a million different neighborhoods that are downtown. They're all awesome.
Yeah.
I like Toronto downtown. I like Montreal downtown. I mean, even where I'm at in Halifax, the Halifax downtown's great. Yeah, once you get outside of it, there's nothing, but it's all there.
Toronto's awesome. I did a couple of New Year's Eves in Montreal. It's a fantastic city. Those are great. I like Calgary. I don't know. That's a great Canadian city. Shout out to Calgary. I don't know. I feel like there are plenty that we're missing.
Like LA, bad downtown.
Bad downtown, but great. Everything else, awesome. Terrible downtown. But that's.
Trying to think of where else. Charlotte had a really nice downtown.
I was gonna say Charlotte. I enjoy. Yeah.
And everything else was just kind of like too young to actually. What's that?
If you consider like Austin, like they have fun downtown areas. I mean that counts.
Like the Detroit downtown area seemed great.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't really remember a ton of like where exactly I was in Detroit, downtown or not downtown, but I think I was downtown and it was pretty fun. I mean, it's still not a great city, but it was at least fun.
Detroit's down bad, Connor. They had a rough, football weekend. The Lions and Michigan. They don't need you piling on with talking shit about their city.
Windsor, Canada. That's a fun place. I like that. I stayed there. That was great.
So that the both times that I went to Detroit, I went to Windsor first. We spent a New Year's Eve there. It's nice on that side. There's casinos on that side, nice hotels. That's where we ended up. And then we'd go over to Detroit the next day for like New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's where we met Drake May right after the draft. He was ripping craps right after he got drafted at the Caesars Casino right there across in Windsor.
Awesome. That's where I stayed.
It's, I mean, it made me forever love Drake May as a person. Like, I don't care. You can be the worst quarterback in the league or the best quarterback. Just if you go rip craps after like 2 hours after you get drafted and you have a presser in New England at like 7 a.m., you're just a legend forever in my book.
Have you guys ever been to Seattle?
I've not been to Seattle. No,
I've been there, but I haven't been there as like an adult, so I can't make like a judgment of it.
I've heard their downtown is quite nice as well.
I also am not a country music guy, but Nashville is a pretty cool city.
Do you go there for a lot of bachelorette parties, Noonan?
I actually went there twice this summer. I went there for a wedding. I went there for some another family. I went there for 4th of July weekend. My sister was down in Tampa, so we kind of met in the middle. Some friends from Atlanta came up, so it's a I don't know, 6.5 hour drive from Chicago. Not too bad, but yeah, good Good downtown.
The chat says that social media tells him that Chicago is a murderous hellscape.
Correct.
But I think the evidence is that you two live there and you seem to be doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly segments of Chicago that are rough. I'm not going to lie to you, but I would say that 95% of what you see on the news exists in those certain segments that no one normal goes to. So that's fine. You just avoid those areas and you are good to go for the rest of the beautiful city.
Yeah, and you're like, it's very hard. You're not going to accidentally come to Chicago and feel like you're on major roads or in the areas that you think you're like tourist attractions, and you're not going to accidentally stumble into one of these bad neighborhoods. They are kind of in the outskirts of certain
Hard
sections.
to get
like,
there.
Yeah, like any city has some really bad parts. I enjoyed Baltimore. Like if you're in Baltimore by the lake, and then there are definitely parts of Baltimore that you're like, this doesn't feel right. So I think you're going to find that in any major metropolitan area, but Chicago's great, especially in the summer. Fantastic city.
Yeah, you guys need to start doing buy some Facebook advertising, like Chicago, pretty good place.
Not what you saw on the news.
Yeah, come downtown and flick the bean. You'll be good.
Yeah.
What do you guys got going on this week? You're live later today and you're live again on Friday?
Yeah, we are live later today, 3 p.m. Eastern for Move the Line. We'll talk a little bit more of this future stuff, looking at a pretty awesome Week 14 slate. Right now, our package for betting picks, and which includes everything at 4-for-4. So you would get all the fantasy stuff, all that. The betting picks are full calendar year. Today's the last day to get the Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. So 4for4.com/plans. 50% off. That would include SharpStack as well. Again, another full year subscription. So take advantage. You can use Pat's promo codes, but again, you can just head over to the site, take advantage of it, and then join us and Move the Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Maybe. What time do you guys record that at?
3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m. Eastern. Maybe I'll get you guys to send me over the audio next week. I'll throw it up on the feed so people have something to listen to.
My man, appreciate it.
Love it.
Maybe I'll pop in, or maybe I'll leave O'Hare, come to your house, scream a few things, and then run back.
Yeah, how long is your layover? I mean, I'm 20 minutes from the airport.
It's legit like 90 minutes, and I got to clear customs. So
no, I say I just stand on the other side, hand you a beer, send you on your way. But
I wanted to make my long layover because I do have a long layover. It's Toronto to Halifax. I got like 3.5 hours, but I always try to do my long layover in Toronto because it has a gym. So I just go to the gym.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I don't understand why more airports don't have a gym. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I do love the credit card lounges. It's a pretty nice addition as an adult. Let's get to the airport a little bit early. Let's go take a look at the buffet. Those are nice additions. So had a pretty long layover. My golf trip coming back from Atlanta this last spring, and spent 3 hours in the Centurion Lounge, and that was a pretty nice experience. I'm like, let's do this again.
Yeah, people always give Newark shit, but they've redone all the lounges at Newark. They're really nice.
Yeah, underrated.
All right. Well, that's the travel tips, cities we hate, and the NFL props for Monday Night Football, plus some futures. Subscribe to Mayo Media Network. Smash like while you're here. If you missed anything, check out the newsletter. That's already out. Check out 4for4.com. And we'll be back tomorrow with the rankings and the spread pick. So be there, all right? I'm Pat Mayo. See you next time.